Good. Let's dive into the test. The first question: what is the primary purpose of a statement of the problem in research? And you have three choices.
I would say B, to clearly define an issue that needs to be addressed.
Bingo.
Mhm.
Number two: which of the following is a characteristic of a well-written problem statement?
Um, I would say C, identifies the issue, why it matters, and who it affects.
Bingo.
Mhm.
Question three: a problem statement generally do not include.
Um, I would say generally not, I would say B, a proposed solution before the research is conducted.
Okay.
Or actually, no, I think background information. Wait, a
Okay,
problem.
yeah, you got that's not fair, right? But you're right. Background information. Background information is not your organizational background information is not important. What is
Mhm.
supposed important is that what is your proposed solution? And
Right.
give a clear description related to the impact.
Mhm.
Moving on. Question four. Why is it important to define the scope of a problem statement?
I would say A, to ensure the problem is neither too broad nor too narrow.
Okay. Number five, in business, a problem statement is critical for,
Um, I would say A, identifying challenges and guiding decision making.
I got to make this test harder the next time. Question six, which element should always be presented in a strong problem statement?
The context, significance, and objectives related to the problem.
Yeah, I got to make it harder the next time. But you're so good, it don't make a difference. You'll pass it anyway. When writing a statement, a problem statement for a research paper, what should be avoided?
A, using vague or undefined terms.
What role does a problem statement play in project management?
It's gonna be A, it helps the team understand the challenge and find solutions.
Bingo, you got it. The whole A belongs to you. Now, let's talk about your homework assignment. And that's going to be due in 2 to 3 weeks because it's very intense.
Mhm.
Hold on, let me see. Okay, good. Read it for me what the homework assignment is.
Statement of the homework assignment one, statement of the problem. A nonprofit organization is launching a program to assist low-income African Americans in attaining employment and improving their health. To support this initiative, qualitative research is needed to demonstrate that this demographic is disproportionately affected by poverty, unemployment, and health disparities. Research objectives. As a research consultant, you are tasked with gathering data and insights to build a compelling argument for the program's necessity. The focus will be on African Americans in zip code 33619, examining their economic and health challenges. Key research questions. One, poverty and unemployment rates. What are the local, county, state, and national poverty and unemployment rates for African Americans? Two, age group analysis. Which age group within the demographic is most affected by poverty and unemployment? Three, impact studies. Identify 3 studies that explore the effects of poverty and unemployment on African Americans. Four, employment barriers. What are the 5 biggest obstacles preventing African Americans in this area from securing employment? Five, regional versus national comparison. Using local data, compare poverty and unemployment trends regionally and nationally. 6, gender disparities. How do poverty and unemployment rates differ between African American men and women? 7, health challenges. What are the primary health issues affecting African Americans in zip code 33619? This research will provide critical insights to shape the nonprofit's program, ensuring it effectively addresses the economic and health disparities faced by African Americans in the community.
Are you ready for the challenge?
Yes.
Excellent. You see, this is a real program. When you finish this class right here, you're going to really be ready to write some grants.
I hope so.
Okay, now let's do this. Let's have a conversation about how do we go to find some information in order to fulfill this home assignment. Okay, let me come out of here. And
Yeah, we could go like those websites, like areavibes.com, unitedstateszipcodes.org.
yeah, we're gonna go over that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're gonna go back over that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're ahead of the game or whatever, right?
Well, I haven't started like looking at those actual sites yet, but I know like just from my notes, I know that's like a good place to start.
Yes, yes. And we're gonna go over today, we're just gonna focus on four types, yeah, four types of research mechanisms. The first one we're going to look at is going to go to the United States Census. This video we're about to watch, and by the way, I'm sending you all this information tonight. It's
Okay.
going to talk about how do you find data on the for the United States Census. Hold
Okay.
on, let me bring this up.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let me know and make sure, let me know if you hear the video in the background. Okay,
Okay.
let's get started.
Oh, I don't hear anything.
You don't hear anything? Hold on 1 second. Okay. Sometimes I forget to put on the sound.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Now,
Census Data Gem, I'll show you how to navigate
Now I hear, yes.
census.gov, the new site to access Census Bureau data. With so many options available to start your search on the site, you may be wondering, how do I get started? Today I'm going to show you my favorite trick. Let's check it out. From the landing page of data.census.gov, there are two entry points to get started with your search, the single search bar and the advanced search. I like to give the single search bar a try. It often gives me a quick and easy answer to my question. To get started, we're going to pull up data for commuting in Orange County, California. And then click where it says search or press enter. Right here up at the top of our all results page, we can see one of the featured statistics from the Census Bureau on this topic. Average travel time to work is 28.1 minutes. Next to the All tab where it says Tables, we can dig much deeper into the breadth of Census Bureau data on this topic. You can see on the left-hand side there are 151 different tables that we can scroll through and click in between to get a more detailed picture of commuting in Orange County. As a quick example from the very first table, S0801, we can see the total number of workers in Orange County, California, and the percentage breakouts of the different modes of transportation they use to get to work. An alternative way about going through this search, clicking on the U.S. Census Bureau logo in the upper left. I'll show you the alternative path using the advanced search. This is a step-by-step approach where you go through a series of filters and make clicks, where you're able to see the comprehensive set of options that are available to you rather than typing them out on your own. So to select commuting and Orange County, we'll start with whatever's most important. I'm going to click on geography, then click where it says county. It will prompt me for the state. So after selecting California, I'll get a list of all of the counties in California. Start typing in Orange and select the checkbox that says Orange County, California. As soon as I've selected that, on the bottom of the screen, we see the selected filters, Orange County, California. The next thing is selecting the topic. On the left-hand side, again, clicking Topics, Employment, and then we see the checkbox here for commuting. With both of those items selected, in the bottom right-hand side, click Search. And here we get to access our tables on data.census.gov as we had gone about through the single search method earlier. In general, like using single search, but if it's taking more than 30 seconds to a minute to find your quick result, go ahead and try giving the advanced search a shot. Some complex topics and geographies are only available through the advanced search, things like detailed population groups or complex geographies like census tracts or urban rural. I hope you enjoyed these tricks on navigating data.census.gov. For more videos like this, please visit census.gov/academy and subscribe. Thank you.
Okay, what did you think of that one?
It was good. Like, definitely looks like a good, useful resource for sure. And it seemed like once you get used to it, it's pretty easy to use.
It is. It is. Like you would go there, you would put in zip code 3119. That's where your assignment is asking for. And then you'll put in economic and health information. It'll give you all that information you need. You can cut and paste and put it into the home assignment.
Okay.
Okay. Don't worry if you don't get it. You're going to have to play with this for a while. It will
Okay.
probably take you 2 or 3 times. But when you master this, you're 60% your way in terms of doing research. Okay, let's look at another strategy that we can use. I'm working in the background. Okay, now let's go here. Another place we can go is what's known as city.data. This is one of the most comprehensive sites you can go to. The only site that has more information is the first site that we looked at, which is called census.com. So what we do here to get a detail, well,
it's not .gov, it's .com.
.com, right? What was that again?
The U.S. Census site it's census.com. It's not census.gov.
Yeah, it's .gov. I'm glad you identified that. But I'm gonna give you that direct link to each of these sites anyway. I'm gonna send them tonight.
Okay, thanks.
So in this particular scenario, and this is a real scenario, I was asked to come aboard West Tampa CDC to put together a strategic plan on how to reduce poverty, how to reduce unemployment, and how to transform that neighborhood. The first thing I needed to do was to get a picture as to what does the neighborhood look like. So I went to city.com and I put in the zip code, 33607. And it comes back with a detailed profile. And here's the breakdown of the profile. You will never need all of this information, but you always want to have it just in case you meet a client and you need a particular type of information. So it starts off with letting you know what the population is, and it compared from 2020 to 2010, and we can see an increase in terms of the population. This goes up to 2010. Sometimes that's going to be the most recent information that we can get. Now, if we go to census.gov, we can get the most recent information for 2023 at least. So it's going to give us a breakdown in terms of rental occupied apartment, land size. For example, population of folks that's 25 and over. It's going to give us a breakdown. We're looking at this. Here's what we do know when we look at these numbers. I see that there's a high school rate, high school, folks who are getting out of high school was at 87%. That's a very high number. Whenever you go to a community and that high school graduation rate is 20, 30, and 40, and 50, you know you got a serious problem. In this neighborhood, 37% of people have at least a bachelor degree. Most of the neighborhoods that I work in, probably 5% of the people have a bachelor degree. This will break down the number of people that are married, number of people that was never married. And it's going to give you a breakdown in terms of the racial makeup. That's going to be important because one of the questions for your home assignment is, what is the racial breakup of that particular zip code, 33619, I think. Yeah, so you can get that information right from here. In addition, let it know. This one's kind of slow. Okay. In addition to that, you can get information about the median household income. And this right here, the median household income is 370 compared to the state of Florida. Some neighborhoods that you're going to be doing a project in, the estimated median income might be only 200,000 or 180,000. If that's the case, what does that tell you about that neighborhood?
I mean, 180 or 200,000, that doesn't sound low, but I mean, I don't know, does that fall under?
Yes, it does. It sounds very, very low. And that's going to alert you to hold on. I know I'm going into a problem neighborhood. Because if the median household income is 200,000, 100,000 or below, there's some really serious problem. Because you have to have at least a good income just to stay into that particular area.
Okay.
So these are going to be the things you're going to watch for when you go to work in the neighborhood. What is that median income? Now, this is good because it's on par with the state of Florida. Okay, now wait till you go into zip code 3319. These numbers are going to be totally different. Okay, so we can also find out, and this is not important, the average person that filed for taxes and what did they receive back. You can get information like the average wage in that particular neighborhood. Knows I'm going through this, see all this information that you can get. Let's go down some more. This will give you more information than you ever will need. But nevertheless, for example, if you're trying to find out, well, how many people are self-employed? How many people self-employment have retirement plan? You can break that down. All this information is going to be relevant. Taxes, earned income credit. That's not important unless you got a particular situation where you're trying to show that the earned income credit in this neighborhood is not being used as much as it should be.
Okay.
Go back to taxes, taxes. They got a lot of information on taxes, don't they? So let's get past that. Now we get into, look at this. These numbers are 2023. So you know this is the most recent number in terms of median household income. 67,000 compared to the state of Florida. But if I was writing a grant, I would show that the median income household for zip code 33607 is below the income for the state of Florida as a whole. Because you always want to be able to compare to show it's worse up and where you at.
I have a question. What was that before? I thought that was also like the median income, like that 200. It was like 300,000, like 370, and then the Florida's 380. What was?
I remember that. Yeah. Let's look at that.
Yeah, right here. Wait, you just yeah. Oh, the house value. Okay, that's what that is. Okay.
Oh, okay, that's the house value, right? Hey, but look, you was good to pick up on that though, right? That's why I
Yeah.
know you're my best student. It's when you pick up on small things that you say,
Okay.
hold on, let me see. You're right. This is household value.
House value, yeah. Condo
Yeah.
value. Okay.
Yeah. And that's important. Let's say you got a client, she wants to do affordable housing in the community. You want to be able to show what is the average cost of a house in that particular neighborhood.
Hmm.
Okay, let's continue on back to where we were. Good pickup on that. I think, where were we?
The income 60 looks like 67,000.
Yeah, no, let me see.
Right, yeah,
Here we
right,
go. Here.
right here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So see, it's giving the numbers for 2023, which is the most recent number, because they haven't come out with the number for 2024 yet. They
Mhm.
won't get you the number for 2024 until the end of 2025. That's the way it works.
Okay.
Okay. Percent of family household. What is that? Percent of family household in the
Hmm.
zip code, 31% compared to Florida. If I'm writing a grant, I'm going to highlight that in this zip code, when we compare household to the state of Florida, we almost 10 points down.
Hmm.
Household with unmarried partners, that's not important. Unless you got a client that you want to show that the divorce rate is really, really high. And the nonprofit was created to increase the number of people that are getting married. Then stuff like this will be relevant, because you want to show according to the subject matter of the nonprofit.
Hmm.
Okay, let's go on. Monthly mortgage, medium medium monthly owner cost for the unit for mortgage. Now, here's another thing you want to look at. Read this right here for me.
Residents with income below the poverty level in 2023. Oh,
And
so
what is it for this zip code?
this zip code 16.6%, whole state 12.3%.
This is gonna be a red flag.
Right,
When you're
okay.
looking to help that neighborhood, you definitely want to look at the poverty rate. Because you want to be able to show that in zip code 33607, the
Mhm,
poverty rate is 16%. However, when you compare it to the state, which is 12.3, the zip code that we are in need more than the state as a whole. Crazy some
mhm,
kind of way like that.
right.
Now read the next one.
Residents with income below 50% of the poverty level in 2023, the zip code 9.3%, whole state 6.4%.
If we're looking at poverty level below the 50 level,
Mm-hmm.
the 50% level, we're talking about people that's receiving public assistance
Okay.
or seniors that have a fixed income, low social security. Okay, you
Mm-hmm.
pick up on things like that because that's going to give you a read of the neighborhood. Okay, let's continue on. These are houses. This is important if you're doing a project with someone that's want to do affordable housing, and you want to make an argument that from 2020 to 2020, from 2020 up until now, there's only been 210 new houses built. So there's a
Mm-hmm. Okay.
need to create affordable housing opportunity. That makes sense to you?
Yes.
Let's continue on. Also, this is where you can go and get a map. If you're working for that neighborhood or that area, you want to be able to like cut and paste a map that shows what the area look like.
Okay.
I'm gonna occupy, I'm gonna go through this. Median income, they break it down and call it a household. This is definitely important because we see that at least 900 people in that neighborhood make less than $10,000.
Mm-hmm.
605 make less than 14,000. Guess what? If you're not making 29,000 or more,
Mm-hmm.
you're in real trouble.
Mm-hmm.
So we know this neighborhood is in real trouble. When we look at the amount that's money that's being made between 10 and 14, 15 and 19, up to 20 to 24. We know there is a major problem in this neighborhood.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's go on. Let's continue on with the distribution of house value. Rent, this is important. Also, we know that to live in this particular neighborhood, what are most people paying? Let me go. Most people are paying anywhere from 1,000 to 1,024, 1,200. That
Mm-hmm.
means everybody that's making less than this right here is in real trouble being priced out of the community. That makes
Mm-hmm.
sense?
Yes.
Stop me whenever you want me to.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this more data, more data. You can even find out how many people are catching a bus.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say a client hire you because they live in a part in the city in which buses are not coming to you. And they need to make an argument that A, we do have a lot of people that are low income.
Mm-hmm.
And B, when it comes to hotline and bus services, right? It's
Mm-hmm.
not really helping us as a neighborhood. That makes sense?
You said if there are no buses, it doesn't. I mean, like,
Well, it
okay,
doesn't because a lot of
right.
people don't drive, right?
That's okay. Sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. No, you're right. For a
Yeah,
second.
so a lot of people don't drive. Now, this number is at 124. This number is higher in other neighborhoods.
Mm-hmm.
But you want to make an argument to a hotline that you need to increase the number of buses that's coming to the community. Because
Mm-hmm.
people only have access to one bus as opposed to minibuses. This number right here, when it comes to bus and bus fees, should be at least 1,000 people. 1,500 people that's using the bus service, but it's not. Okay, let's continue on. This is important when you want to talk about the amount of time that it takes people to travel to work. Okay, that's it for this. But as you can see, that's a lot of information on there.
Right.
Let's go. I think it's one more I want to do. Did I do this one? Oh yeah, here's another one you can use as well. And I'll stop with this one. Remember earlier we did the United States Census?
Yes.
You can go here, and this is a census, but it's only based on the city of Tampa.
Okay.
Okay, so you can go here and get those same numbers that you got from the Census Bureau, the first video that we looked at. And then you can put in the state, the county, the city, or whatever, and it's going to bring you back all the information that you need. Age, sex, population, economy, the whole thing. Everything you're going to need for your assignment is going to be here, as well as the first one that we looked at.
Okay.
Any questions?
No.
Okay. Now, let's stop with a statement of problem. Let's leave that alone for now. Now, let's go to the next assignment that we're going to be getting into. Okay. This part is going to call Strategic Framework for Nonprofit Success. The vision, the mission, and actionable goals. Now that we understand what the problem is, now we got to put it in the form of what we want to do about it. The first thing we want to do is to create a vision statement. Read for me what a vision statement is.
The vision defines the long-term impact the organization aims to achieve. It is aspirational, inspiring, and serves as a guiding principle for all efforts. Example, a world where every individual has access to stable housing, economic opportunity, and a thriving community.
One vision statement, if you're working with a nonprofit that has a large number of kids that's been killed inside of neighborhoods, the vision will be a world where young people don't have to fear for being killed for displaying in their neighborhood. So the vision statement is that thing that talks about what you want the world to look like. The vision talks about what is the vision? What does the world look like in terms of long term? The vision statement. The vision statement is like for Dr. King. What was his vision statement? Do you remember?
That like
I know it's been a minute.
Dr. King's statement, like people of all races can just coexist in peace.
That's one of them. But I'm looking for something else.
Equality.
A world where a person is not judged by the outside, yeah, go ahead.
Not by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character.
Yes, that's his vision for the world. So you see what I mean by vision statement?
Right.
And when you're working with your client, we're going to do a lot of work on vision statement. Tonight, we're just going to touch on the general, but we're going to do a lot of work. Because as you begin to work with your client and you talking about going for a grant for them, you're going to look at that vision statement and you're going to say, I'm sorry, this is not a vision statement. Here's what a vision statement needs to look like. because you want to prepare them for the grant. That means that you're going to have to look at that organization inside out. After you identify the vision statement, the next thing is the mission statement.
Mhm.
What is a mission statement?
The actual mission statement is like the actual thing that you want to do day to day, sort of like the
Now,
actual
just read
how.
it for me.
Oh, it's right there. Okay. The mission outlines the mission outlines the organization's purpose and the specific actions it takes to fulfill its vision. It is clear, actionable, and grounded in the organization's core values. Example, to empower communities by providing resources, education, and strategic partnerships that drive sustainable solutions for housing, economic empowerment, and nonprofit development.
So we went through the vision. Now we at the mission. The mission is important because it talks about and how you want to bring about the purpose of the organization, which is the vision of the organization. What's next? Value statement. What is a value statement?
The value statement defines the organization's core principles, shaping decision-making and stakeholder engagement. Core values, equity and inclusion, committed to fair and equal opportunities for all individuals. 2, community empowerment, strengthening individuals and families to create lasting change. 3, integrity and transparency, operating with honesty, accountability, and ethical leadership. 4, collaboration and partnership, building alliances to amplify impact and drive meaningful results. 5, sustainability, developing long-term solutions to ensure stability and growth in communities. Example, we believe in equity, collaboration, and empowerment, ensuring every individual has the opportunity to thrive.
You're going to have to work with your clients
Mhm.
to create a value statement. A lot of the nonprofits that you're going to be working with don't have any of the things that we're going to be talking about tonight. That's where you come in, not only to articulate the problem, but
Mhm.
you also begin to define how you're going to solve the problem. So we talked about vision statement, mission statement, and the value statement. What's next?
Goals. Definition,
The
goals are broad aspirational statements that define the ultimate impact or outcome you aim to achieve. They are not directly measurable, but provide a vision for the project. Characteristics, broad, encompasses the overall purpose of the project. B, aligned, reflects the mission and vision of the organization. Inspiring, motivates stakeholders by outlining the desired change. Example, reduce homelessness in urban areas by improving access to affordable housing. So it sounds like goals are like more of like like they're kind of like the vision statement, but with a little bit more detail.
Yeah, because the goals are really the final impact that you want to make.
Right.
You know, the vision is much more broader,
Mm-hmm.
and the vision is much more broader, conceptualized. But goals begin to break it down even more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with these concepts, vision, mission, all that as we move forward with the course.
Mm-hmm.
So every time we come to something new, it's gonna be new until we
Mm-hmm.
go over it after time after time after time. Then it becomes clear as to what is the assignment and how do you solve the problem. Now, there's going to be a test on goals, objectives, and things of that nature. And one of the questions will probably be, what's the difference between a goal and a mission, or a goal and a vision?
Mm-hmm.
So we got the vision, the mission, we got the value statement, and we got the goal. Now, what's the next step?
Objectives. Objectives? No, oh, strategies, sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
strategies. Strategies are high-level plans or approaches that outline how you will achieve your goals. They provide a framework for action. Characteristics, focused, target specific areas or methods to address the problem. flexible, can adapt to changing circumstances or challenges, resource-oriented, leverages available resources effectively. Example, partner with local governments and NGOs to develop affordable housing projects.
What is NGO?
I was going to ask you that. I mean, I guess my guess is like, I don't know, national government organization. Is that
I don't know either.
okay?
I'm not sure. Non-profit, I don't know. That's your assignment. Find out what NGOs are, right?
Okay, I'll look it up.
Okay, good. Let's continue on. No. Purpose, vision, mission, values, goals, and strategies. What's next?
Oh, now objectives. Okay.
Yeah.
Um, Objectives are specific measurable outcomes that contribute directly to achieving the goals. They break down goals into actionable steps. Excuse me, SMART framework, specific, clearly defines what is to be achieved, measurable, includes indicators to track progress, achievable, realistic given the resources and constraints, relevant, aligns with the overall goal, and time-bound, specifies a deadline for completion.
I can tell you right now, one of the test questions is going to be what are SMART objectives?
Mhm.
That's where you go, you're going to say specific, measurable, achievable, time bound, etc. Okay, let's see what's next. Well, let me start from the beginning. Vision, mission, value statement, goals, strategies, objective. See how it's coming all the way down from the vision to the mission down to the objective. Every time we go down a notch, we get more and more detail.
Mhm.
Okay. Next.
So tactics. Tactics are the specific actions or tasks within strategies that help achieve objectives. They are the operational steps taken to implement the plan. Characteristics, action-oriented, focuses on doing rather than planning. Detailed, provides clear instructions for execution. Aligned, supports the strategies and objectives. Example, tactic for strategy, organize community outreach events to raise awareness about housing programs. Tactic for objective, recruit 50 volunteers to assist with application processes at housing fairs.
Okay. I think this is it. Yeah, that's it. Okay. Let me get some takeaways from the last section that we dealt with dealing with creating the framework. Give me two things that you learned. No, Miss Smarty Pants, give me three things, because you always got that. Give me three things that you remember as it relates to goals. Oh, I'm not supposed to say it. As it relates to those items that we talk about. Give me three things.
Okay, like goals help break down the vision more. The vision is like your ideal of like what you want in a perfect world. Um, the strategies are planning for how you want to carry out like the strategies are the actual plans of how you want to carry out the goals of the organization. And
Exactly.
then objectives.
Come on,
Object
that's out. See that? I only asked you for three.
uh,
I told you, Smarty Pants, right? I only asked for three or whatever, right?
okay, sorry, I lost
Definitely.
track.
So we have come midway in our work.
Mhm.
The statement of problem, which is really intense, as you can see. We spent 2 weeks on the statement of the problem, and we're still going to be working with a statement of the problem on each lesson that we go into. Now, we're getting really down to the nitty gritty. We know what the problem is. The
Mhm.
problem is nothing unless you can frame it in a way that grant writers want to know. What do what grant writers want to know? They want to know what is your vision? What is your mission? What's your goals? What's your strategy? And what's your tactics? Anything else that you want to chime in on before we leave tonight?
No, not right now.
As you can see, I told you it's going to be intense. I feel
Yeah.
sorry for those people that took that class. And if they take my in-depth class, I'm telling you, this is what I know.
Hmm.
80% of people drop out the second week.
Oh, wow.
I know the people that's going to make it. I know you're going to make it. You know, I know the people from Jump that's going to make it just by the questions that they ask and
Hmm.
the response they get back and what have you, right? You know, you're going to be one of the ones that I know that's going to be successful and I know that's going to make a lot of money and you're going to help a lot of people. Your job is going to be something that you wake up to do because you know every organization that you work for and with, you're making a change in somebody's life.
Hmm.
And you're doing it as a consultant. What does that mean when you're doing it as a consultant?
Um, as a
You can
consultant,
call your own hours, and people
right,
can't tell you how to do the job.
right,
You know, so if your job is to come to up with a strategy to reduce crime, they can't tell you how to do your job. They
right.
paid you as expert. That's what I love about my job. You
Hmm.
know, I don't have to worry about working 8 hours a day or 2 hours. I choose it. As long as I complete the project in a timely manner. You don't
Right,
tell me how to do it. You don't tell me what hours to work in.
right,
That's a sense of freedom, man, that I tell you, you're going to enjoy. That sense of freedom because you're an expert.
right.
They need you more than you need them.
Hmm.
Trust me, because there are way more people that need money than there are grant writers. And
Okay.
most grant writers not even going to be able to touch you.
Hmm.
When I tell you, when I give my class, I have seasonal grant writers that attend. Just like
Hmm.
that last class. They don't say anything. They just
Hmm.
monitor and they take in.
Hmm.
Because they know I'm always going to give the most recent information. If you're a grant writer that's been a grant writer for 15 years and you've been doing the same thing, guess what? You're going to drown. You better get with somebody that's giving a workshop every year to tell you what's the newest things that's going on in the grant field. Because things change every 6 months when it comes
Okay.
to grant writing. Anything else before we leave tonight?
No, that's good to know. You said every 6 months stuff in grant writing changes. Okay.
Yeah, it's changing because the world and the economy changes. For example, guess what?
Hmm.
18 months ago, nobody was talking about artificial intelligence when it comes to grants. Now
Right.
everybody is.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I got a lot of feedback from people. They thank me about that artificial intelligence part I did at the end of the presentation as to how is artificial intelligence going to help nonprofits.
Hmm.
You know, so things like that. But you're gonna be on board because I'm gonna teach you how to use artificial intelligence, you know, to do all of this. First, I'm gonna give you a regular understanding of it, and then I'm gonna
Hmm.
take you into artificial intelligence. And you're gonna say, Mike, this is making my life so easy. So easy. But you had to have a busted understanding of the structure.
Right.
A lot of people jump into artificial intelligence, but they don't have the structure. They don't really know what to ask. And
Hmm.
artificial intelligence can only do what you ask.
Right.
So if you're not framing it right, it's going to give you what you asked for.
Hmm.
So anyway, look, thanks again for coming to that particular workshop. I really appreciate you being there because you was able to articulate so well. You've already got a group of people already that's going to be looking at you. And every time
Oh,
I give one of them
thank
big
you.
workshops, I'm going to invite you to the table. Two, I'm going to say at one point, does anybody need a grant writer? We have a grant writer who's here today.
Oh,
That's
that
part
would
of
be
my
great.
job to
Thank you.
throw some business over your way, you
Thank
know.
you.
And in time, at one point when you become good, teach somebody else, you know.
Yeah,
And
I
let
remember
that
what you told
somebody
me.
teach somebody else, that teach somebody else, that teach somebody else.
Hmm.
So thanks again. I appreciate you. Until the next class, If you need me, I'm a telephone, an email, or text away.
Okay, and so you're gonna email me like the PowerPoint with the purpose,
Everything.
vision, and then like the actual work. I mean, I guess I can like start going to the census site and city data. Like I can just, I mean, I guess I'll
Yeah,
just like
just play
start,
with it. Because you
just
got
play with
2
it. Okay,
weeks.
okay,
Yeah, you got 2 weeks on that, right?
yeah,
Because you're gonna come back next week and say, Mike, you know what? I don't know what you're talking about. I couldn't find any of this. And then we're going to sit down and we're going step by step. First, I'm going to throw it out there to you, right? You see
right,
what you can come up with. Then I'm going to bring you on in and say, okay, let's do A, B, C, and D.
right.
And you're
Okay,
going to learn better that way also.
okay, sounds good. Thank you, Mike. I'll look out for your email.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to be emailing you in about 15 minutes.
All right, sounds good. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I had it ready for you already to send to you so that you
Okay,
can start looking over it into next season.
okay, great. Thank you. Have a good
Okay,
night.